ワンピースは実在する。
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video.
In this video, I'll be giving my review of the Marineford War, or the Paramount War, in One Piece. But before we get into the video,
please be sure to subscribe to the channel, as well as hit that notification bell to get notified for more content that I put out. So if you've never enjoyed this video, be sure to hit a like, leave a comment, let us know your thoughts, and also be sure to check out channel memberships. We have them available, $2.99, something light, a little bit of content you can access that is behind a paywall, some stuff that's like reactionary stuff, avoiding copyright stuff. If you want to help support the channel in any way, help support her One Piece addiction with clothing, you know, check it out. So without any further ado, let's just get into it, y'all.
If she ain't got a butt, fucking get into it, yo.
the way lavender coffee makes me so happy is like different.
Yeah, it's very random.
It's different level, bro. I fucking
random addiction.
Fucking love lavender. I love lavender.
Okay.
The way this arc.
Let me stop laughing. I don't want to laugh so much because you're not happy about it.
Okay.
Let's get to the good and the bad.
Let's just jump right into it. Like the way I was so, for lack of a better term, I guess, triggered by this arc. And also the way you didn't give me a trigger warning. Oda didn't give me a trigger warning. There were no warnings as to what was going to happen. I mean,
there were some warnings.
No, there was not. I mean, like,
You want a disclaimer? You want a full disclaimer?
It was really hard. I was genuinely shook for a week. Like, whole mood affected for an entire week. And I don't think that's an exaggeration.
It's just anime. It shouldn't do that to you.
I was so upset, but with you, I was so mad at him. I mean, also, when, like, the big scenes happened, it was, like, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I already had a long week at work, just, like, work stuff going on, and then having to wake up to go back to work, and he was like, oh, let's watch it. I'm like, okay, fine. And then I was like, okay, I really gotta go to sleep, but then the scene happened, and then he's like, okay, and then just turned it off, and I'm like, excuse me?
Well, you say you had to go to bed.
And then he just turns it off when our world was shook. Like, this arc. So I think it goes without saying that was the bad. The good of this arc.
It was fun.
Yeah, there were fun parts. The teaming up of people was phenomenal. The introduction of really powerful people together was really phenomenal. Luffy's determination throughout the whole thing until the very end was amazing. That was all good. And then we learned a lot of, like, backstory too.
Yeah.
That was things that we wanted to know. Luffy's hidden strengths coming out here and there, but I think the bad overtook the good for me, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it's a crazy arc in itself. It's a crazy situation in itself. Like, once we get the ball rolling, kind of somewhat recap, you know, thoughts on different parts of it, because it's big, and it's
huge.
A lot to remember.
And I know it was relatively short, but there was so much.
Yeah.
In each episode.
Each minute, each episode,
yeah.
It was like you couldn't really just be like, we're just chilling right now.
There was no chill moment at all.
No chill. So the arc opens up, basically, people are watching, like, the Paramount, they're watching all this go down on TV, essentially, like in Sabaody. They had to show people in Sabaody watching it. So a little callback to an island we was at before. But we get some important reveals in the beginning of this arc. And you've had your doubts about this situation here, but you finally got some clarification, so let's get into that.
Yes. So we find out that Luffy and Ace have different fathers, and I will say, in Impel Down, I had this weird inkling that they might, just the way that Ace was talking to Garp. There was something that Garp said that, like, slightly revealed that they had different dads. However, I had no idea that Ace's dad would be Goldie Roger. So that was huge. Like, so from the jump of this whole arc, finding out that information was just mind-blowing. And then Luffy's over there just saying it like, yeah, His dad's Goldie Roger.
No biggie.
Obviously. And then also the world finds out that Luffy is Dragon's son. So people are just like, whoa, what? And then Garp is both of their grandfathers, but yeah, so it's just a family of powerful people.
Yeah. But even then, you're not even, at that point, probably still fully questioning until you learn more about, like, Ace's backstory. Because you can still think they could still be related, Luffy and Ace. Because you're like, they could
have the same mom, but no, they do not. They were just both taken in basically by Garp. I mean, Garp is Luffy's biological grandpa, but he was still kind of taken under his care. But we find out so much about Ace's background and the reason for some of his trauma and his views of himself. He had such a traumatic childhood where he didn't even want to be alive because the world hated Goldie Roger.
Yeah.
Because everyone hates pirates and, well, mostly everybody hates pirates. So he had this really traumatic childhood and all of those mental self-schemas that he has of himself is rooted from who his dad was.
Yeah.
So that was heavy. Which that backstory from the beginning of the arc played a tremendous role towards the end, which we'll get into, just like how almost like a Nico Robin turnaround, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, that was a huge backstory.
Yeah. I mean, what about let's get into the details, I guess, with Ace's mom, who's kind of a badass. I don't know how she pulled this shit off.
I just, as a woman too, I'm just like, how do you hold that in there for more time?
Yeah, because we get to this point because...
And she was so chill the whole time. She's
very
like,
chill.
Just a little bit longer.
They're just gonna chill in there for another 2 years.
So basically, when they executed Goldie Roger, they were just like, you have to like make sure all of his wife and any kin, they're dead. So because she knew that, she forced this child to stay inside her uterus
in my belly.
For how long was it? A year?
It was
a year, I think.
Nah, it was it like 18 months? Did I make that up? It might be like.
I thought it was a year.
I think it was definitely more than a year because it was crazy. Because they waited 9 months, then they had to wait even longer or something like that.
Yeah. And so they were all over the island and everything, and they were executing people that were pregnant. Or people that just had a baby 9 months later, and they were executing them. Yeah. They were ruthless.
It was wild. The government be doing some shiesty things, shiesty stuff.
And then after all that, she ends up dying. After childbirth.
I mean,
so I'm just
I think after all that, somebody dying is going to be super common in this.
That's true. You're pushing your body to the actual limit. But that was sad. Like, after forcing your body to go through that, you can't even enjoy the child.
And then, I mean, what's good here is that you're getting a little bit more character to Ace. You're learning so much more about him. Because, like, you probably cared about him because Luffy cared about him before. But now you're getting to really know what makes him him, some of the things he's done in the past. So let's get into some of those past actions from his little backstory that he has.
Yeah. So we get into a lot of things. So we learn that when he leaves Luffy as a kid, when Luffy was a kid still, he sets off to be one of the most powerful. He wants to fight Whitebeard, but then he can't because Whitebeard's so powerful. And so even after all of the fighting, Whitebeard still took him in as a son, which said tremendous things about Whitebeard's character. Like, I don't care who you are, I see something good in you, and I want you to be my son. So we'll get into Whitebeard in a little bit, but that was powerful. But we also have a flashback to Ace meeting Shanks. And this was a cool moment because it just showed how Shanks just always has Luffy in the back of his mind. Because all Ace did, he didn't even say Luffy's name. All Ace did was thank Shanks for saving his brother. He's like, hey, thanks for saving my brother, basically. And then Shanks was like, oh, Luffy. Like, so that, like, he didn't even have to say who it was. Yeah. So that means, like, did Shanks save anybody else that was memorable like that? Or, yeah, so that also shows how special Luffy is. Yeah. So those are the two main flashbacks, I would say. Yeah,
and then we also finally find out the exact reason why Ace is was chasing Blackbeard.
Yeah, because Blackbeard killed Thatch, who was one of the crew members. Was he
He was one of the commanders.
Commanders, yeah. That was the word. There was, because Ace is commander of
the second division.
Second division. Marco's first, right?
Yeah.
That was Thatch
third.
Yeah.
Thatch is third. I could be wrong.
And it was all over the devil fruit. Because he wanted the devil fruit.
Which ended up being, I guess, Blackbeard's devil fruit later on. But enough of the past. Enough of the past. Let's get
jump into the war.
Let's get into the war. Let's get into the... After Sengoku lets the world know this breaking news, big news.
Yeah, this is the war. This is the moment we've been waiting for since Impel Down.
So, enter Whitebeard.
Yeah. Whitebeard is so badass. Was so badass. He just is just like a force of strength. He visually, physically he looks it, but even just mentally too. He's just strength, like the definition of strength. So he pulls up to Marineford underwater with 43 ships, allied ships. So not only just his own crew, but allied pirates come as well from under the water. It's a glare.
Yeah, it's a glare. But this is my my parallel. Oh no! It's $200 card.
Wow.
I didn't spend 200, but 200. Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Whitebeard. So then we also get introduced, because to be honest, I was wondering this whole time, does he have a devil fruit? Why is he so powerful? How is he so powerful? I also had that question about Goldie Roger too. I don't think we ever find out if he has a devil fruit or not, which I don't think he does.
Yeah.
But we find out that Whitebeard does have a devil fruit, and it's the Tremor fruit, which they say is like one of the most powerful ones. He could basically just control the earth. He can cause earthquakes. It's pretty awesome.
It's nuts. So you think about it, you just create earthquakes regularly.
Tsunamis, earthquakes.
Yeah.
To be in control of the tectonic plates seems pretty awesome and powerful. And it also just like, have you ever thought that the devil fruit, it's almost like, you know how, this is just where my brain is working right now, I don't know why. Have you ever seen, like, or in 101 Dalmatians, they're like, the dogs match the human?
Yeah.
In this, I almost feel like the devil fruits match the pirate lots of times, but not necessarily a pirate, but match the person, but their
personality,
looks.
I guess, or
the looks, almost.
The looks, okay.
Like, Luffy looks like a rubber man. You know, like, and like Doflamingo, like the way he dresses, like, kind of seems like looks like a very, just, you know, manipulative.
You're like, what's the word I want to use?
What's the word I want to use? And like Ace, the way he dressed and stuff, his physical features.
Oh, so you think he's hot? Is that what you're saying?
He's fire. Yeah.
Oh, you think Ace is fire.
And anyway, I think everyone's physical features match. So anyway, all this to say that Whitebeard's devil fruit really match his looks and his personality and his strength. So it's fire. It's a really cool devil fruit.
Yeah, but going from fire. Once Whitebeard and them show up in the ships, Sengoku gives Aokiji the go-ahead to freeze all the water in the bay.
Because basically Whitebeard does the tremor fruit, and it causes like big waves and stuff, almost like a tsunami, and then Aokiji goes ahead and freezes it mid-air, which is pretty funny.
looking like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
The wall. The North remembers.
Yeah.
But then you get your boy Kizaru. He's showing up. He's doing his thing. What you think about Kizaru in this arc?
I will be honest. I don't have many feelings about him. I don't know why.
Because you keep forgetting him.
I keep forgetting him. I just think he's a little annoying to me. It's like, oh. He's powerful. Luffy couldn't defeat him. The only one that like stood a chance against him at the time was Ray Lee. But yeah, I could see why he's an admiral, because he has, what is that, Logia?
Yeah.
He has a Logia fruit.
Yeah.
So I just don't think I have many feelings or thoughts on him, to be honest. He wasn't the standout admiral in this arc, clearly.
Yeah. But I mean, another interesting devil fruit power that shows up here, we get introduced to Marco.
I really, really like Marco. He has the phoenix. What's it called? It's a phoenix.
I don't even know what that. It's like a bird fruit phoenix model.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
He because it kind of goes into like mythical creatures.
Yeah, we call them mythical zones, actually.
Oh, look at that! Look at that!
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a phoenix fruit, and I understand why he is the first commander on Whitebeard's crew.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, the power is very, very interesting because like he turns into a phoenix. He's basically able to kind of heal himself from getting damaged, kind of heal others. He's also like a doctor, so it's very interesting overall as a concept. But I like Marco.
I like Marco a
Marco's
lot.
one of my guys.
I'm excited to kind of see if and how he plays more into this world.
Yeah. What do you think about the warlords being here? And
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they had to call all the 7 warlords and all the admirals just says how powerful Whitebeard is and how, like, stressed they were about this war. But it was kind of fun seeing the warlords there because Luffy has already come into contact with a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like not Magellan, sorry.
Moria.
Moria, thank you. Something with an M. Moria, obviously Hancock, but she doesn't really count.
Yeah. Kuma.
So it's kind of fun seeing them.
Mihawk. Because he beat Zoro. Your
That's
boy.
true. Yeah.
He's Zoro jersey. You gotta represent.
Can't
Gotta show
really
on the
see
back.
that.
Gotta show on the back. Gotta stand up. Mine's the Sanji. She has Zoro. 'Cause
Can you see it?
you might have to stand up.
Oh gosh darn it. Zoro, number 2.
Yeah.
Now your turn.
Fine.
Sanji, number 5.
It's by the order of people who joined the crew, I think. Because Sanji joined 5th.
I know.
Oh, okay. 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 But yes, Warlords being there is nuts.
Yeah.
But we get introduced also. It's just like a lot of people get introduced to here. But Little
That's why there was literally not a dull moment. There was no time where I could take a breath.
Yeah.
Anyone could take a breath. I couldn't eat snacks while I was watching this. I'm a big snack eater. I couldn't eat my snacks because I was just on edge the whole time.
Yeah.
But Little Oars
Yeah.
Junior,
Which is crazy.
That was
'cause
so exciting.
it was crazy because like we had Moria there, and then we had the whole Oars situation with Moria and Thriller Bark. So it had
Right before this.
Oars ancestors.
I loved the reveal of Oars Junior because all you saw was like the Oars flag, and then I was like, wait, you were like, do you recognize that? I think you said something. I was
Yeah.
like, that's Oars. Why? And then Little Oars Junior, but not Little Oars Junior shows up.
Little Oars Junior, like
That is someone that you want on your side.
huge.
And he was very it was so cute. Yeah. He was so one track mind, just wanting to save Ace because Ace and his golden heart, like made Oars this cute hat to protect him from the rain. And this story, this made me just Oars was just Oars and Ace. This made me so sad. And then when Oars he didn't really die, but we kind of assumed that he was really, really knocked out. Yeah. And after this, I was but he made him a hat that protected him from all weather. Basically, it didn't even protect him. He was still getting rained on, snowed on. The sun was still beaming on him, but he couldn't see it because the hat covered his eyes. Yeah. And so he saw Ace, and he was like, I have to save him. So he went through everything he could to save Ace.
Yeah.
My God.
It's just a lot happening. Like the ramp up of the war, kind of like Whitebeard showing up, the other people from the allied group kind of, making their play into the bay.
Yeah.
There's chaos happening.
All for Ace.
All for Ace. All for Ace, who don't want to be saved.
Until the end.
Till the end.
Oh my gosh.
But let's get into your boy making a grand entrance.
This was so great. We already talked about this last video, but let's review the people that Luffy's with. It's Luffy, Ivankov, Jinbei, and then
Mr. One.
Oh yeah, Mr. One's with them.
Crocodile. You said Crocodile?
No, not yet.
Yeah,
Crocodile. And then
Buggy
and the
Mr.
bunch
3.
of people and Mr. 3. And the bunch of people that are with Buggy.
Yeah.
They just, it's like the perfect timing. They just fall from the sky, and everyone's just like, what the? They're like, oh my god, it's Straw Hat. And Ace is happy to see him, but then, like, he's just kind of like, what the heck, yeah. Luffy? But he falls out of the sky, perfect timing, in true form. I didn't expect anything different, to be honest. But the funnier part is the reason why they fell from the sky is because when Aokiji turned the tidal wave into ice, they got stuck up there. They got stuck on the wave. So it's just so fun to see how each part of this arc was
Everything
important.
matters.
Everything truly mattered, even from when Oris Jr. got knocked out. Like, that ended up mattering, too. There was just everything was so well played for what was about to come, and then everything got shattered into pieces.
Because when all this is going down, we get some interactions. You got Ivankov running into Kuma, and then Doflamingo being spicy with him right here.
Yes. So before we get into that, even there was a scene where like Luffy meets Whitebeard, right? That kind of happened first, and this is where we kind of see Crocodile also show, like, I mean, he helped them out, made him to Marineford, so he did his job. So his real reason why he wanted to go there was to kind of kill Whitebeard.
Yeah.
So, like, Luffy meets Whitebeard, and he's just like, yeah, Ace is my brother, and Whitebeard's like, yeah, like, you're Ace's brother. And then Luffy's just like, I'm going to be king of the pirates. And then Whitebeard's just like, okay.
Okay. All right, man.
But then, and then Crocodile tries to go after Whitebeard, and Luffy stops him. Or maybe that happens right before this. Anyway, this is all happening kind of at the same time, simultaneously. Croc tries to go after Whitebeard.
Crocodile wants to go after Whitebeard,
Yeah.
but he's just all over the place at this point.
And then Luffy stops him. And then Buggy also tries to go after Whitebeard because he's trying to get, basically, famous.
Yeah.
That's all he really wants, to be famous and the king of the pirates. And then Whitebeard does this really, like, slick thing, just like, okay, if you kill me, like, you're still gonna have to go after the Navy. Like, you're gonna get defeated. So, like, let's just fight on the same side. And then Buggy's little posse, they're just like, oh my god, like, Whitebeard knows Buggy and wants to be on his side. And then, anyway, I still get so annoyed by Buggy. I know people love him and they think he's so funny. He's really annoying to me.
The Buggy Hive is real, so you might be choosing the wrong.
I know, and I'm sorry. I just don't like.
love Buggy.
I know you do, and I know a lot of people do. I don't like people who take credit for things that they don't do. I like humbleness, and Buggy doesn't do shit. He does do things. He comes in perfect timing, and sometimes he doesn't even realize he's helping when he is, which is funny. I'm not saying he's not funny. I'm not as hyped about him like everybody else. I'm sorry.
One day maybe you'll turn over to... Actually, it might be too late for you. It might be too... I feel like if you don't like Buggy now, then...
I know.
I don't think that's going to change.
I'm, like, happy to see him on the screen. Like, I'm not, like, truly annoyed by his presence. I just, like, I don't think he's as funny as people say.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
sorry, really. But
Buggy is funny here because he's trying to use all of this to, like, get famous. You know what I mean? And it's very, very interesting. But he shows his usefulness because there's that moment, like, he gets... like sliced by Mihawk.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that I think in a little while.
Yeah.
Or we can get into that now. But
Into it now, yeah. Cause a lot of
there's
it's
just
like,
so many random
everybody's
fights.
just running into each
Yeah.
other. We're gonna be here all day if we try to like recap like
yeah.
every single interaction.
There is again, like Buggy helps out and he doesn't even realize it. Like I know
Luffy violated though, because Luffy
Yeah.
like used him as a shield.
Yeah. He's a Buggy! Mihawk was going after Luffy, and we know how powerful he is. And then Buggy gets chopped by him, but it doesn't affect him because he has chop fruit, so.
Can't chop him.
Yeah.
Can't chop was already chopped.
Yeah,
Or you could chop
basically.
was already chopped, but not this guy.
Oh, and then also, let's get into, like you kind of mentioned before, Ivankov knows Kuma. So, based on Sabaody, I always had like a hunch that Kuma wasn't bad. Like, there was something deeper behind him, and we kind of get a little sneak peek. Like, if Ivankov knows Kuma...
If that's his boy.
That's his boy. We know that Ivankov worked with Dragon in the Revolutionaries, so it's just interesting to see, like, how Kuma might have tied into that, or, like, how they have met in the past. But we learn that he knows him because Ivankov's like, yo, why are you fighting me? And then this is when Doflamingo's like, Ivankov is dead. Sorry.
Kuma's dead.
Oh, yes, sorry. Kuma. No, Ivankov's very much alive. Kuma is dead, and Ivankov's just kind of like, wait, what? But it's important to know that because then it kind of has this question, like, what exactly did the government do to Kuma? Or what did Kuma agree to? Because we know Kuma's such a good person, or was, or could be, I don't know. Like, what did he do? Or did he, like, make a deal with them? I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll find out, I hope.
That darn Vegapunk, what is he up to?
Word. Turn him into a weapon.
But weapons, speaking of that, Sentomaru shows up, big guy from Sabaody.
Yeah.
Shows up with some more pacifistas, and the Marines fall back a little. Just to kind of like let that kind of take place. But this just crazy, not a plot twist, but yeah, kind of a plot twist moment, I guess, that happens with the Whitebeard and one of his allies. So let's get into that.
Oh.
While all the chaos is going on.
Lots of chaos going on, and then, yeah, this is huge. Squirtle.
Squidward.
Squirtle.
Squirtle.
Betrays Whitebeard. He comes up out of nowhere and just stabs him. And we're all just kind of like, what the heck? And we find out that it's because Akainu. Basically, he's a manipulator. We all hate him, but he's also very manipulative with his words. He basically told Squirtle that Whitebeard was this was all a plot, and I actually don't remember what the plot was.
You
but
say that Whitebeard's trying to Whitebeard's going to betray you guys so he can save Ace, so like blah blah whatever. Like this is all like a plan or whatever.
And it wasn't, clearly.
Silly man.
And then Whitebeard, just being the person he is,
the goat that he is,
hugs him after he stabs him right in the middle of the chest.
I'll hug you.
I'm not Squirtle. And after he stabs him in the middle of the chest, he just hugs him and he's like, "You're still my son, like I would never do this to you." And then he gives everybody a chance, like, if you don't believe me, if you want to believe this Akainu dude, whatever, leave. It's fine.
Leave.
You're still my sons. And then Squirtle like breaks down crying, and
he's different. What do you think about Akainu? Let's just get that out the way now. Let's get the hate raid going now.
He gives no Fs. Like he doesn't care. He has no heart whatsoever. He's manipulative. He tries to get in people's heads. Like I wonder if that's a thing.
He's good at shit talking.
He's manipulative.
He's good at shit talking.
Like he's a good person to have he's a good person to have as an admiral, I guess. But like he has no Fs. He's like probably the worst character right now.
Yeah, he's an absolute justice kind of guy. Like he's like.
But that's not justice. It's fake. It's fake justice. It's brainwashed justice.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into him yet.
nah, he's like, no, I still got some more to give later. I still got some more. So, after this betrayal, you got Crocodile kind of like a little like taken aback, like what? This dude's kind of like weak or whatever now. About Whitebeard kind of getting hurt because he want to be him so bad.
Yeah.
Right. So that's one little tidbit with Crocodile.
Crocodile flip flops. He doesn't fully.
flip-flopping.
I feel like he doesn't fully want Whitebeard dead because even like when the ending happens, Crocodile is kind of like upset. Like maybe it's because he didn't do it himself, but
maybe could be that.
But I don't think he genuinely wants him.
Yeah, but after all this, Whitebeard gets mad.
Whitebeard gets mad because the government was trying to get his sons to turn against him. So he uses his tremor fruit, and the whole island like shifts.
Yeah.
And moves, and then so everyone basically this whole time the goal is for everyone to get into what is it, the bay or past the bay?
Yeah, past the bay. I guess.
So they keep moving forward and more forward and more forward, and they're trying to put up. Oh, also, is this when they say like let's?
They try to put up these metal gates, these metal doors. I don't know the exact.
They try to put up the metal gates, and then there's also the plan to speed up the execution.
Yeah.
Around this time as well, I think that well, I think that happened beforehand, which is why Luffy wanted to, like, get in there.
Yeah.
But, so they put up the metal gate.
And also, it kind of was raining down magma on people.
Yeah, all of this is happening.
all
magma coming down. So Luffy's like, let's get in there, and they're putting up these gates. But Little Oars Jr., who is now has been knocked down for a minute, they can't get up one of the final gates because Oars Jr.'s blood
is just leaking
into the whatever. So this is what I meant by, like, every little part of this arc played an important role for later on, and this is one of them. So they were able to kind of push forward and storm Marineford and, like, the execution platform.
Yeah, it's going crazy. They got for Little Oars Jr. really held it down there. I know we was gonna try to table the kind of thing, but we might as well talk about the lava, the magma fruit at this point. What do you think about that? Especially, like, knowing that there was a flare fruit, which is Ace's fruit. And the fact that now there's a magma, because there's a clip of you talking earlier in a past video that you couldn't wait to see fire versus ice, and I was sitting there and I was just like, girl, you don't even know. You was like, I want to see Ace fight Aokiji.
Yeah.
Alright, just coming back from a pause, I had to turn off the AC because she was cold.
So, speaking of ice.
Speaking of ice. But let's reverse into the kind of, what are your actual thoughts about the magma fruit as a whole?
It's the fact that there is a fire hotter than fire, because magma's hotter than fire, is like, it's scary. Yeah. In this point, and we all know what happens, but in this point, I was just kind of like, oh, like, that is hotter than fire, so it's a little freaky. Yeah, because
as a concept, it almost kind of makes you think, like, okay, there might be a better version of every devil fruit you've probably seen, right? There might be something crazier than, like, Aokiji's fruit. Or maybe Aokiji's is the craziest, or maybe there's a lesser version of Aokiji's fruit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Instead of it being, like, full-on, like, ice, maybe something... like water. Yeah, or maybe something daintier, like, who knows? I don't know. There's just all types of weather conditions you can think of. Yeah. So, speaking of all this Admiral stuff, we also get this dope moment with Luffy, and he decides to pull up on them. Not the best decision, but... Yeah. He like, finally gets in, like, in front of Ace, and we have the 3 Admirals. We have Aokiji... Akainu, Kizaru, and Kizaru. The names I always forget or mess up. And they're all just like, "Wow, you're reckless. Like, welcome, you made it. What? Hello, son of the dragon." Like, they're all. And then Kizaru's like, "Oh, you're reckless." Yeah. But and then they flash over to Ace, and Ace is like, "Luffy, what are you doing?" And then Whitebeard's just like, "Huh." Stu's got some balls. He's got some heart. And then Luffy gives his best move. He has the big mass thing, and he tries to throw it at them or whatever, but then obviously Aokiji freezes it, and he does his Gatling and kick. He stamps it. But the Admirals aren't fazed by it because they're all Logias. So they just stand there. It's like... Nice. Nice, good one. Poor Luffy. Yeah, but even that going on, Whitebeard got some more tricks up his sleeves. Yeah, he does. He has a whole nother ship show up from under the water. Yeah. And Oars comes in clutch. Yeah, Oars wakes up. Yeah. He wakes up and then pulls the ship, and he's like, "Here you go." He pulls it, like, into the bay or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then after all that going on, Whitebeard did see that Luffy got, like, washed up a little bit. Yeah. So he's also making sure his men is taking care of him. Mm-hmm. Like, yo, make sure y'all take care. Go get him. Make sure you take care of that kid. And what's crazy about this arc in itself, like, and you probably feel the same way, just Luffy's really not he's the main character here, but, like, he's not really doing much. In this world, he's so, like, minuscule. To us, he is everything. He wins every fight. It's Luffy. Because he has the Nakama, he has the courage, but this is like the arc where we see, damn, he's really not that strong. Like, he compared to all of these
main character people in the actual world, he's nothing compared to them. That's why they call him a rookie.
Yeah.
Because he really is. These people have lived so much more life and have fought so much more than Luffy has, which is mind-blowing to us, because that's our Luffy, but poor little guy is actually weak.
Yeah. I mean, people are fighting tooth and nail. All this stuff is going on. Ace has to watch all this stuff going on, and it gets a little emotional. Even, like, watching Ace get emotional here. So let's get kind of into that.
Yeah.
That part.
So, meanwhile, Garp goes up and sits next to Ace. Sengoku, who is kind of watching Ace, making sure that nothing happens, and he's the one that's calling all the shots to have him executed earlier. Garp goes and sits next to Ace, which Sengoku is just kind of like, what are you doing? And he's like, just let me sit here.
Yeah.
Ace gets emotional because he's like, I have no reason to live. And then Garp says something like, you won't know that until you live, basically.
Yeah.
And then he, like, looks around and sees all of these people fighting for him, which is so true. You have your father, Whitebeard, you have your brother, and you have all of these allies that are here for one reason, which is to save Ace. And then this is when Ace gets really upset, happy tears. And he says that, I think he says it's, like, crying of happiness, because he's like, I think I have a reason to live.
Yeah.
This is like a Nico Robin, like, moment all over again, except this is a little bit more powerful for me, I think. Yeah, it was intense.
Yeah, and it gets even crazy because with that going on, it's just chaos after chaos. Whitebeard has to hold this L immediately from your boy.
Who's my boy? Which boy?
Akainu.
Yeah, Akainu decides to punch Whitebeard in the stomach.
Put a hole in his chest.
Gives him a chest. Gives him a nice big hole, but does Whitebeard fall in that moment? He does not.
No. But when Luffy washed up, still with that going on, Ivankov has to pump him up with some more hormones, so got lucky there. But as soon as Luffy gets up and he's healed from that, he's running. Who decides to hop in his fucking way, bro? It's just Kobe. Poor Kobe.
Oh my god. Yeah, poor Kobe this whole time. He's just like, he's so conflicted because he's like, I need to fight. But then Luffy just knocks him out real quick. He's like, Kobe, get out of my way, and then just punches him. But then this hit did something to Kobe. And all it took was one serious punch from Luffy, and then he got freaking mantra all of a sudden.
He got mantra? It's crazy right there.
Yeah.
Then, you got Hancock also all over the place too. She's like making sure she protects Luffy.
Every time, like, the pacifistas went after Luffy, or, like, right, it was mainly them. Or no, I think it was also Kizaru, too. Did she go against?
Smoker, she did.
Oh, Smoker, sorry.
Yeah.
Smoker, and then, like, the pacifistas, she kept on, like, knocking out because they were going after. Because Smoker just wants to kill Luffy. He has, like... But
he wants to capture Luffy.
Or, yeah, we'll do whatever with him, but, like, from day one. But then he confused me because I thought he was good after Alabasta. This guy confuses
good
me.
and bad is very... It's more gray. Think about it. Like, he has respect for Luffy, and he has
like a... He's trying... I think he has more of, like, a true sense of justice. Like, I think his, like, kind of hatred or dislike for Luffy grew after he, like, kind of messed things up at Enies Lobby and Impel Down. So he's kind of like, yo, we gotta capture this guy. And he probably feels guilty that he let him go at Alabasta, basically.
It's more of a... It's a respect that he has. Like, he's just trying to do his job. You know what I mean? But he has... It's a gray area. Yeah. It's a gray area. There's no true good and bad in this series. Because, like, they are pirates. You know what I mean? So they are technically all bad.
Yeah.
They're all criminals. You know what I mean? And the Marines are just people just trying to do their job. But some of the Marines ain't. So it's really just all gray.
It's so funny, though, because every time Hancock does come in to help Luffy, everyone's like, whose side are you on?
I mean, Hancock, man, she's a real one.
She's only on Luffy's side.
She's only on Luffy's side. But yeah, the pacifistas can't even attack because she's a warlord, so they know that she's registered as a warlord. So it's like, oh, well, I guess we can't attack now. So,
it's an intense power she has there.
But... Once again, your boy Whitebeard is also still tanking stuff while
he's getting stabbed and shot and and then the time has come where Sengoku finally says, like, it's time to execute him. So the people with the swords come up and are about to do it. And then Luffy screams, like, don't, or whatever, and knocks out a bunch of people, showing that Haki that we saw in Amazon Lily when Hancock said it was, like, the Conqueror's Haki. He showed that again.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see if Luffy gets, like, control of this, or, like, because it seems like he has no idea what the heck it is or what he did. I don't think he even realized he did it. He just was so in the moment. It was like, don't do it. And they didn't because they got wiped out.
Yeah.
It's exciting to see. Meanwhile, Mantra is happening with Kobe. There's so many things.
Mantra's going on.
Yeah.
After that, Luffy's, like, trying to run to save Ace now. And then, you know, Crocodile sailing from Mihawk. This... Just things. But
so many things, so fast.
So many things.
It's all in the span of, like, 20 seconds. Mihawk comes back in the picture, yes. This is what Crocodile comes back in and helps, and then Ivankov comes and Zuma comes out and cuts up the thingy and makes a big pathway.
Zuma popped out of his hair is hilarious, actually.
It's fitting. It tracks.
With this wine.
Yeah, I love it. And then he creates the really big, like, concrete bridge from the ground to go up to Ace. So now Luffy has a straight path. This is kind of, like, very, like, metaphorical, like a straight path to Ace, like, on his way up. And then who gets in his way? The person who's always got in his way of his dreams.
Oh.
Garp.
He's like, the person who's always getting in his way.
Well, no, because Garp has always wanted Luffy to become a Marine and Ace to become a Marine. So, like, on his path to go save his brother, to follow their pirate life. But he's like, no, like, this has to stop. But not really, because then he has a flashback of Ace saying, like, he wants to live. And so he closes his eyes and Luffy goes to punch him and he takes the punch. Yeah. So we know that he did it on purpose. Like,
yeah, he just took that hit.
He could have knocked Luffy out real quick, especially Luffy was in, like, a weaker state. So, like, he could have.
How do you feel about Garp in all of this? Like,
I kind of feel bad for him. He's so conflicted. I wish he just took his family aside this whole time, because then things could have just been, especially coming up to, but things just didn't have to happen the way they did if Garp just, like, decided what he wanted.
Yeah.
So I feel for him. He's so conflicted, but at least in this moment, he let Luffy punch him. Probably felt good for Luffy. Like, after all these years, I finally knocked you out.
I got a W. A win is a win.
Oh, so then backtrack a little bit. Hancock gives Luffy the key.
Oh, yeah, word.
So Luffy, like, straight path to Ace now that he knocked Garp out. And then Sengoku, or is it...
Sengoku.
He takes the key, or he does something with the key, or is it,
No, Kizaru.
Kizaru,
he shoots the key with
Kizaru zaps the key, and so Luffy's like, what the heck? But then Mr. 3, clutch as heck, he's Mr. Clutch. This whole time, he
was confused when he was like, what the hell is he doing here?
Yeah, but then we find out that it's because he snuck into, like, the Marine something.
He was in the building.
He was in the building, and he got an outfit because he heard, like, we need new executors because the original ones were knocked out or something. So he put on an outfit. He was able to get up on the platform. Perfect timing, because then there was Sengoku. This is when we found out his devil fruit, which was Buddha fruit.
Buddha fruit.
Buddha fruit. Buddha. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
so he turns in. So there's a lot of things just, like, happening, and then we see them all just kind of, like, spinning, and Mr. 3 makes the key and then passes it over to Luffy, but we can't see anything going on, and then all of a sudden, the most beautiful scene in this entire everything so far. I think this is my favorite scene, actually, in the whole series. They're, like, spinning. I don't know why they're spinning exactly, but they're spinning in circles, and you can tell Ace is free because...
He was falling off the platform because he destroyed the platform.
And they're spinning.
And they're spinning.
It's just, like, it's beautiful, like, I don't know, everything's just, this seems so cool.
It's the camera angles.
Yeah, the angles are great. You see Ace firing up everywhere, and then he's like, you never listen to me, Luffy, you're so reckless. And then Luffy's just there spinning, like, with a big smile on his face. He's like, heh heh. You know that little laugh he does? And then Mr. 3 is like, wee! And then they just F shit up. Like, they fight together, the brothers are reunited, and this is when we think, like, wow, they did it. They did it.
Yes, 2 more episodes left.
And then Whitebeard's like, escape, and so we think they're all going to escape.
Did you think that, at first, did you think that Whitebeard wouldn't make it? And you just figured that everybody else would get away? You thought that that's how it was going to go?
So when Whitebeard started, like, kind of sacrificing himself, I was like, oh, maybe, like, because this is the end of an era, maybe Whitebeard is going to die. This is when I thought that he wasn't going to make it, to be honest.
But I think you would have been able to accept.
Yes, I would have been.
Yeah.
Because it is the end of an era. Ace and Luffy are reunited. But then our boy, Akainu, with his manipulative words, he knows he's smart. He knows what sets
He's like,
people.
God, he's good though.
Yeah, no, he's good at what he does. He knows what sets off people, and he knew that these are signs of, like, an actual like serial killer, like a psychopath. Like, they know how to get into people's heads. I'm interested in him.
She's got very.
He's a bad person.
This dude.
Anyway, he knows what sets Ace off, and then he starts talking lots of shit about Whitebeard, saying basically, like, you're weak or something.
He ain't shit. He could never.
Like,
he was never gonna be the pirate king. Blah blah.
Yeah, you never be Goldie Roger. Like, all these things. Meanwhile, sorry, what's that background noise?
That's from next door.
Anyway, yeah. So he's saying all these things, and Whitebeard's just like don't listen to him. Whatever. Everyone's saying, like, Ace, don't listen to him. But then of course Ace turns around, and
decides to fight with him.
Yeah, so then there's fire versus magma, which you know
science.
you can't. And then something stops Akainu from fighting Ace. I think he realizes that Luffy's weaker in this moment.
Yeah. So
then he goes after Luffy. Oh God. Are we getting to this part now?
You don't feel like reliving it?
No.
It was like the whole video. He was like, "Really gonna have to talk about this?"
Yeah, because, like, everyone's like, they're starting to escape, and then this is the moment. I also, like, the way I just did not expect this to happen.
It happened so quick. It was quick.
And also just a little backstory too. My little brother's starting to watch this now, and he told me randomly one day. I was like, "Oh, who are your favorite Straw Hats and stuff?" He said he loves Zoro. Yeah, Zoro. He likes Chopper, and then he said, I really like Ace for some reason. Like, because he was in Alabasta at this moment. He's like, I really like Ace. And I was like, oh. And then I watched this, and I'm like...
You watched this 2 days later, and he was like...
I was like, do I have to warn him? Because I was so... I don't have the words for how upset I was. I don't think I've ever in my life been this upset from a show or a movie or anything.
I was not prepared for your level of... I was not...
I was so mad at him.
We might as well just get into the whole situation of how this went down for you, this experience. So, like, what were we doing? I actually think we just got done recording the last episode, actually.
Maybe.
I think how long ago you watched this scene. And I was like, oh, let's watch some One Piece. I knew where we were. We were about an episode, I think, or 2 away from this moment. And it was, like, late.
And you kept on saying, like, let's keep watching it. I'm like, okay, like, after that first one, and...
You just agreed. You was just like, normally you would just go to bed.
Because at first when so when I kind of punched... the whole reason why it happened is because obviously Luffy was about to get killed by Akainu. Like, he was going after him, but then Ace was like, Luffy! And then jumped in front of him, and then he kind of punched him in the back. So we saw the giant hole in him. Don't say it. Saw the hole in him.
Don't say what?
The dessert thing. We saw the giant hole in him, and even then I was like, there's no way. He's not dead. There's, like, Oda doesn't do that.
Oda doesn't do that.
He doesn't do that. There's no warning.
You've said that almost every... People don't die in One Piece.
Yeah, and again, at this point, I was accepting that Whitebeard probably would. Because it's the start of a new era. But Ace was supposed to be part of that era.
Nah.
We had a whole arc on saving Ace. So then why would this happen? I was so distraught. We were in the bedroom watching this. I had to leave to pee.
I just thought you were using the bathroom.
I went to cry my eyes out in the bathroom because I don't cry in front of people. But I sobbed in the bathroom from this. It was so upsetting.
Yeah, I was confused. I was like,
because
are you crying or are you just sleepy? Because you came back in bed and you were still crying. I was like, you alright? I'm like, you good?
I've never been so affected by anything in my life.
I truthfully did not see it coming. Because one, like you said, I've never seen you react to any media like that. Maybe I've seen you like
tear up
tear
things,
up a little bit from like,
because I am quite empathetic. So if I see other people cry, I cry. But this type of pain that I felt,
shit was different.
It was so different.
Yeah.
I was so upset. And I was for the rest of the week.
You was upset at me.
I was upset with you.
You
I
didn't have a good
him.
week after. You actually had a bad week.
I had a really bad week.
I had a bad week after that.
I was so sad.
Yeah. I'm weird. Not weird. I'm of the belief that this is Ace's fault.
It is, of course. Like he didn't want anyone talking bad about Whitebeard, and Whitebeard was saying like it's fine. Everyone was saying like Ace ignored. This is what Akainu does. Like he's manipulative. He gets in your head. He's a serial killer. Just like leave him. But Ace he didn't.
He didn't.
And then of course like what made it worse was Luffy's reaction to this, which is probably what like hit heavier.
Yeah, watching Luffy kind of break.
And the flashbacks.
Not even break down. He broke.
He actually broke.
His system failure,
his
like the
brain malfunction.
Like you know how the computer sometimes back in the day, the blue screen would
Mm-hmm.
pop up. Boom.
That was Luffy. He a couple of weed done.
Yeah, because he's just like, yo, everybody, give him some aid. Let's heal him, and everybody's standing there like,
yeah.
I don't know about this one, man. And then they give you the
and
imagery
then
of the
he was
Viver
like,
card.
the Viver card, and then he was just like telling Luffy things. It's all kind of a blur to me because I think I was in shock. I think my memory is a little.
You went to Luffy mode.
Yeah.
You just saw. It was done, son.
It was so much.
So, as Ace being the first kind of real death in this series for you,
He was.
how do you want to see? You think any of the death is gonna happen again, or are you just good on it? You don't want people to die no more.
Of course I don't, but now I know Oda has it in him.
Got that dog in him. But man,
It's all for a purpose. Like Oda's such a beautiful writer, and I know this is for a reason. Because then you think about the future when Ace and Luffy come face to face. Because although Ace accepted not being the Pirate King because he was.
Yeah, Ace didn't want to be Pirate King. He wanted to be Whitebeard Pirate King.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, so it's just like hard to even picture what would have happened in the future because Ace like could have just been on with Luffy. I don't know.
Well, Whitebeard would have died. He could have joined Luffy crew, yeah.
Exactly.
And made Luffy the Pirate King.
Or just like let Whitebeard's legacy go on and I don't know.
What could have been, right? It could have been. But it doesn't even slow down here.
No,
Oda
it
doesn't let us chill. You think that we're about to chill. I'm like, we still got some episodes left. Akainu decides to go after Luffy still.
Yeah, but of course
You gotta respect the commitment to the job. Because he said, I'm not done. And just one more.
But and then Garp too is like Sengoku has to like hold him down because Garp was like, I'm going to kill him.
I'm gonna kill him. Don't let me go because
finally he comes to his senses, but it's literally too late, Garp.
Like, why?
He wouldn't have been able to defeat Akainu anyway, even if they went face to face.
Also, thank God for Jinbei.
Yeah, so Jinbei has the mission to save Luffy and to get him to. This is when I like Buggy. He doesn't even realize he's helping when he flies them over.
Yeah. That's further down though.
Oh, it is further down.
This is when.
Oh yes. Because everyone's witnessing what's happening.
Akainu was still trying to attack Luffy, and Jinbei.
It's all a blur. I was a little traumatized.
Jinbei like blocked the attack and like kind of like burnt his arm a little bit, from there.
When Akainu's trying to still get Luffy.
Yeah, but then whatchamacall, while Jinbei is kind of holding off Akainu, Marco and Vista, the homie with the swords, two swords that was fighting Mihawk a whole bunch of times. They came in and basically try to like double up on Akainu. Which, like, then he brings up, oh, God, you guys seen your Haki, because they're actually able to hit him. Even though he's a magma fruit, so there's all type of shit going on, but man, the goodbye speech from Ace is just crazy.
This is when it was all sinking in that he's dying.
Yeah.
Was the goodbye speech to him. And then Ace is apologizing to Luffy, even though he's died. Like, it was too much.
He just smiles and just says, "Thank you for loving me." That shit is crazy, man.
And it was just so sad because he finally like cry again.
That's what. Oh. You are. Oh, okay.
He finally like don't touch me. He finally felt and had a reason to live. And then he died.
Just all of that. You was like, all of this for what?
Seriously, for what?
For what? So yeah, everyone's shocked. Everyone is going through it. Whitebeard's hot, right? Akainu pulls up on Whitebeard, right? Punches off. This is when the anime doesn't do the manga justice, right? Because Whitebeard is now going back and forth with Akainu. And he like grabs him, like he's about to volley Akainu, and Akainu somehow shakes him off a little bit and punches off in the anime, which it looks like only a piece of his beard.
Oh yeah, and you said it was his half of his face.
It was actually half of his face, but the anime I guess didn't want to go there. But my son just loses half his face. People was like, "What is going on?" People can't even believe.
This is when Whitebeard showed his true power.
Yeah,
and his true ambition to protect his sons.
Yeah, getting his get back. He's like, all right, now it's on, because he basically banishes Akainu to the Shadow Realm with that punch. I don't know how Akainu.
Oh yeah, and we thought that Akainu was gone.
Yeah.
Because he put him into the earth, but magma.
He put him into Earth.
But magma is in Earth, so it didn't really do anything to him, which kind of sucked.
Yeah. But the things don't stop.
Blackbeard.
Don't stop, because even with this shit going on, Blackbeard shows up. Why? Yo, Blackbeard shows up with these 6 prisoners. So what was your thought here? What was you thinking?
So I was kind of waiting for him to show up. Okay. Finally, I mean, we weren't even thinking about him in this moment. Blackbeard was so irrelevant, but like we finally understood why he did what he did in Impel Down, and he let Luffy be, because Luffy wasn't his target. His target was to save these specific people in Impel Down, which were some of the worst people, right?
Level 6 prisoners. I'll just give you the names, because it's San Juan Wolf, Avalo Pizarro, Vasco Shot, Shiryu, who was the guy that worked in Impel Down, and this woman named Katarina Devon. You're probably not going to remember these names, because I barely sometimes remember them. I just have them written down.
Yeah.
But now we know, because before you wanted to know why he went to Impel Down. So now we know. You get that clarification.
Which again still felt so irrelevant in this. We're just like, all right, whatever, get out of here.
Yeah.
The world was just rocked, and then like he just comes in, but then it gets
we're here because
even
of
crazier. Yeah, we are here because of Blackbeard. Oh, and so this is why Whitebeard gets so angry with Blackbeard, because he's like, this is your fault. It's like Ace went after you because you killed Thatch.
Yeah.
Thatch. Got the TH right. And then Whitebeard's like, I no longer see you as a son, but Blackbeard's like, I don't give a shit. I got what I wanted. Like, this was so an in-depth plan of Blackbeard's, like...
High IQ.
It just...
And the attack doesn't even work when Whitebeard attacks Blackbeard, because he absorbs it with his black vortex.
Yeah.
So from there, Whitebeard basically...
And it looks like he's about to defeat him, because when Whitebeard's like choking him.
Yeah. I don't know
how. But I don't think Whitebeard had it in him to kill him.
Oh, you don't think he was just gonna... He probably wasn't gonna go with it regardless? Yeah. I mean, he seems very forgiving, right?
Yeah.
To a fault.
Oh, yeah, because literally Blackbeard also was trying to be manipulative. He's like, are you going to kill your own son?
Yeah. Because Blackbeard's devil fruit is interesting because, like, he can kind of negate or absorb the power of, like, devil fruits or whatever with his ability. So, like, Whitebeard's choking him out or whatever. He's talking all that ish about the whole, you know, whatever. I'm going to be a pirate king. It's going to be over for you. But Whitebeard's giving him a little speech. Like, telling him about Roger and all that. Like, yo, I know you got a D in your name, but
it's not you, bro. Like, Roger doesn't want you.
You're not him.
Yeah, like you're not gonna. And then Blackbeard asks his crew to just like mess him up, and so Whitebeard's just standing there taking all of these shots, and he's just literally standing.
Yeah. And
doesn't fall, keeps standing, and then says the line before he passes. You gonna say it?
You want to say it?
No, you gonna say it.
You want to say it?
Yeah.
You don't want to say it?
Put the meme in here.
They're gonna want you to say it.
Insert meme here.
You're gonna have to say it. This is your first time going through the series. It's gotta be you.
He basically yells that the One Piece is real.
He didn't even feel comfortable saying that.
No, it wasn't comfortable.
Yeah, we get the confirmation.
He yells that, and everyone's just like, what? The One Piece is real? What? Oh, because meanwhile, Buggy is recording this whole shit. Buggy's trying to become famous.
Buggy's a YouTuber. You see, look like you starting to like Buggy a little bit more as you talk about it. I'm seeing it.
I don't like him. I will never like him. Like, I don't have like towards him. He's funny. I don't not like him on the screen. I just don't like him as a person or a pirate. Because he's not a real pirate.
All right, but yeah.
He is a real pirate.
The One Piece is real. You know, and then we get a little bit of a flashback with Whitebeard. He starts to reminisce a little bit. So now we're on the death number 2.
Yeah, so there's a little flashback of him and Roger talking. And it's kind of nice to know that they were friends. Yeah. Because we didn't really know how they knew each other, but they were friends back in the day.
Yeah, and also like Whitebeard was thinking about like having a family, just like having a family out of his crew, because a lot of you get to see him back when he has his long yellow hair, blonde hair. Don't even know why he's called Whitebeard because he doesn't have a beard, but I guess a mustache is a beard, but whatever. What do I know? But yeah, Whitebeard kind of exposes. You know, he doesn't want treasure.
He wants a family.
Always wanted a family.
Yeah, he's like sitting like looking out into the ocean, just like. Ugh.
But yeah, from here we get the execution of Whitebeard, who
doesn't fall.
You wanna get the stats of everything that's happened to him that we have here?
What do you mean?
How
many times? All right.
they announced like Edward Newgate, Whitebeard. This is how he went out.
Yeah. So after he said like his goodbyes to his crew and just like yells the One Piece is real, it was like declared that he's dead, but you can really tell because he was still standing, big and tall and strong. But he dies standing on his feet after having been stabbed and slashed 267 times, shot 152 times, and hit by cannonballs 46 times. Despite his grievous wounds, he never fell. He never fell down.
He was like not a single wound on his back. All.
Not one on his back. It's all in the front.
It's crazy. But then, another random thing.
This like gave me like the heebie-jeebies like when this was happening. It was like so gross to see for some reason. I got really uncomfortable. Blackbeard and his crew like put a tarp, a blanket, a sheet, something over Whitebeard's body, and then Blackbeard went under the sheet with his dead body. So I was like, what is he doing?
It's getting weird, guys.
It got real weird, but then he basically soaked up how he did it. I don't know, and also just thinking of it, who knows how he did it, soaks up his devil fruit, which is scary because now Blackbeard seems to be one of the most powerful. He has his dark fruit.
Yeah.
And the tremor fruit.
What do you think about the idea of having two devil fruits?
I feel like a body shouldn't be able to handle it. So I wonder if he's going to keep trying to take people's devil fruits. And they also mentioned something like they said, don't you see how the way Blackbeard's body's built? Didn't they say something about his body being
Marco
different?
says he's always been interesting. Like, his body's always been weird. Or something like that.
Like,
He's
built
always been
different.
interesting.
So I'm wondering why. I wonder if there's, like, a background of Blackbeard that we're going to find out. Like, why he can soak up 2 devil fruits.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Then more war happens.
More war.
Some they're just fighting in general starts to happen between Blackbeard and the Marines and just everyone's fighting still.
How many episodes you thought we had left at this point?
I was like, is this ever ending? And so I guess can we get into now how Luffy's saved? Are we there yet? Because in my brain,
we're about there.
All I'm remembering is just fighting while Luffy is taken by Buggy and like.
By Jinbei. Jinbei is trying to save him. Yeah.
Because Akainu comes from the earth. He's not dead yet. And so now mad people are still trying to get Luffy. But Jinbei, like, he has a mission to not let Luffy die.
Yeah. Because Akainu attacks Jinbei. It goes through Jinbei, and then this is how Luffy gets this burn mark on his chest.
Yeah.
So all of that's going down. He gets like this X-shaped scar or whatever that's there. And then Crocodile and Whitebeard and everybody else, like, they're still fighting. But they also try to protect Akainu and Jinbei. They show up to try to save, not Akainu and Jinbei. They show up to try to save Jinbei and Luffy from Akainu. But then that's where Buggy comes in.
Buggy, like, swoops up Jinbei and Luffy somehow. And also Law comes out of nowhere.
Law?
Like, he comes out of nowhere on his little submarine to come save Luffy.
Now you know why we love traffical law.
Yeah, so they're like, get him on this submarine, and Buggy's like flying them over, and he's like, why should I trust you? And he's like, just drop them on the submarine. Eventually he gets there. The fighting is still happening. Does anything else important happen before the person shows up? Who I was simping for?
Well, Kobe, doing his...
Okay, yeah. So Kobe is... Sorry, this again after the...
It's a lot. This arc is
traumatic
a lot.
moment
I think anybody
happening.
watching this can understand. Like, it's a lot.
So Kobe is like... This is when his mantra is starting to kick in. He's starting to see... hear and feel people's cries and screams, and he's like, this is so much. So then he yells, stop this war, and then someone's about to snuff him. Was it Akainu? Who was it?
Akainu's about to
Yeah,
Akainu was like, who are
you?
Who is this kid?
And he's about to snuff him, and
Kobe's
then
still small in the Marine. Nobody knows who he is. So Akainu's like, who is this kid?
And he was about to snuff his own kind.
He's his own kind.
He's a serial killer.
He's about to end him. Did you think Kobe was gonna die here too?
Kind of. No. I know he's gonna have a big part in the future.
Yeah.
Him and Luffy have to go against each other.
But yeah, I mean, at least Kobe, like, heart was is in the right place as a Marine, and that's like kind of like, it shows you like there's some hope there in regards to the faction of the Marines, but it's just so corrupt and crazy that it's hard to sometimes justify them.
Yeah.
In their brands of justice, but. With Kobe about to hold this L, we get another reveal.
Shanks. He shows up. Shanks shows up. And I was like, dang.
You was like, Shanks? I think this is actually the first time. I think this is where you transform into a Shanks simp.
Yeah.
Because
I really like Shanks.
You was sitting there, you was like, I think after Zoro is Shanks.
I really like, he just shows up and he holds so much power. I mean, he is another emperor, and he's like, this war, like, you guys got what you wanted, Ace is executed, Whitebeard is gone, like, this war needs to stop. And even Mihawk turns and he's like, peace out.
Yeah, I didn't come here to fight.
Yeah.
I didn't come here to fight things.
Peace out. Which just showed so much power that Shanks had.
The Admirals backed down immediately because the dude Ben Beckman, who uses the guns, he pulled up next to Kizaru because I was like, oh, Ben Beckman, I don't want no problems.
Oh. He's so annoying. But he's so funny.
he's like, because the way he be speaking.
Because it almost makes him seem weak because he's so, like, shook by everything, but he's not.
he's not, but he is. Sometimes, like, that moment he was shook.
Yeah.
That was a real...
But even Shanks was like, listen, like, you guys got what you wanted, like, let us keep Whitebeard. Like, they wanted his body to, like, properly bury him and everything, too. So even Sengoku was like, all right. Everybody was like, the war is done. And they even announced it, too.
And they were shocked, too. They were shocked that
Shanks showed up.
Shanks was even there because they knew where Shanks was
Prior,
before this.
Which means
because he was fighting, apparently, Kaido.
Kaido.
Kaido. It's a whole bunch of people.
Kaido.
Which Kaido is like another emperor of the sea, so who knows who's going on there.
So now just to make it clear from up right now, we know, Whitebeard was an emperor, which he's not anymore. Shanks, Kaido. We still don't know the third now, because there's no more Whitebeard.
Well, you don't know the fourth.
Yeah, but I mean,
But now there's only 3 anyway. So that was there. Shanks is like basically also telling Buggy since they got a relationship, and also people are freaking out because they're like, "Wait, Buggy, you cool with Shanks?"
Buggy,
they're like, "Buggy, you cool with Shanks?" So they vibing, right? Shanks and Buggy's over here like, "Yo, Buggy, my guy." Buggy hates Shanks. Buggy's like, you ruined my life, bro. You ruined my life. I got this fruit because of you." He's so tight. And then while that's going on, he tell Buggy like, "Yo, make sure you give Luffy this hat, bro."
He didn't tell that to... Oh, yeah, he said that to Buggy, and then Buggy gave it to Law.
Yeah, because he had to trick him and be like, "I'll give you a treasure map.
Uh-huh.
I'll give you a little treasure map."
And then he didn't end up giving it to
But you can tell Shanks loves... Buggy loves Shanks.
Yeah.
You can see there was some like, "That's my brother, though."
Yeah, they're brothers.
That's my brother.
And then Shanks had the opportunity to go see Luffy, but he was like, not yet. Not until Luffy gives me this hat back.
Yeah.
Because that's... Luffy, that was Luffy's promise to Shanks. Like, when we see again, like, I'll be stronger than you, or as strong as you, and I'll give you this hat back. But Shanks knew it wasn't time yet.
Yeah, but Shanks single-handedly ended the war.
Yeah, he did.
War is over. So, we went through all of that. That was a lot. This is probably the longest video, maybe. I think Alabasta might be longer than this that we did, but whatever. There was a lot of arcs in there. Final thoughts. What's your rating on this arc? Your final send-offs from this part of the story.
-17.
-17.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I was like, I don't know if I can give this one a rating. Because, like, do I give it a really good rating for the way it made me feel?
We're just going to rank this an S. It's an S. Out of all the letters, like a tier list, you know what I mean? Like D, B, A, C, C, A.
I can't rate it. Because there's no, like, it was the most important arc so far.
Yeah.
It was the turning point of the world, of this entire world.
Yeah.
This was the turning point. But we've reached, I feel like this was the climax.
Yeah.
If it gets worse from here, can you tell me now?
In what sense? Like, in what sense?
Am I going to be this triggered again?
No.
Great. Okay. Cool.
Maybe. I don't know. That depends on everybody's different. Everybody's different. I don't think that there's, as of now, where we are, Marineford is just different, which I've told you. Like, even once we started this whole, series of you getting into One Piece, this is the moment that people don't make it here, one. So, kudos to you. Bravo to you. I think most people who watch these videos are impressed that you who've gone from no anime really at all, just at all. You didn't watch Dragon Ball. No, there's no nostalgia for you, no nothing. Get this far down the line, especially with a series like One Piece, and then get to this part of the story. Like, it's been the key moments where a lot of things turn around, and from what I know and experiences is Arlong Park. The Nami moment. That's usually the first moment that'll strike your chord. And if you don't care, I get it. Whatever. Some people don't, but you like that moment. The second moment is the Nico Robin. I Want to Live. That arc, that moment. If you're not in love with it by then maybe you should just drop the series. You know what I mean? But then to push through, you had to push through Thriller Bark after that, and then sit through all this chaos to then get to this moment. And at this point, I think you're stuck. You're here.
Yeah,
to stay.
I'm here to stay. I started reading too.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So that's your rating. We'll just give it an S.
I can't rate it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Marineford, right?
Made it through.
Yeah.
Now can we finally see some damn mermaids?
Maybe one day. She's like, I miss the good old days. I miss the simple days when the story was chill.
We were just on our way to see mermaids, which we haven't even seen yet.
But that's the end of this Marineford video. Before we end this video, if you haven't already, please be sure subscribe to the channel as well as hit the notification button to get notified for more content that I put out. So if you're enjoying this video, be sure to hit us with a like, leave a comment, let us know your thoughts on the Marineford Arc in One Piece. So, on that note, y'all, enjoy your life.
I'm feeling great and feel the vibe. I'm really grateful we alive. And I'm feeling great cause lately I've been on the way to something great. And I feel alive cause I create like every day and I'm on to